What? How is this, or better yet, why? So, NCSoft just announced, after years of silence, that Project TL was finally launching globally this year. Cue players getting excited. Then moments later, they go ahead and they confirm something that just destroys any semblance of confidence that I might have had in them. Hey, my name is STIX and welcome back to the channel. I've never shied away from talking crap about developers when I see them doing things that would be against the best interests of their respective communities. And today we have an absolutely abhorrent excuse for a new feature that was implemented with the sole purpose of extracting as much money as they possibly could out of their community. Quick shout out to our patrons over on Patreon. This allows you to directly support us if you're interested. Every patron will have their name appear at the beginning of every single YouTube video, and you'll be immortalized in the MMO genre forever. Now, I get it. Developers, publishers, they're companies, and companies need money to run, to continue to function. I have absolutely nothing wrong with wanting to make a profit off of your work. It's what I do with YouTube videos, with streaming. It's what all content creators do. But that is no excuse for taking advantage of and abusing your community, all for a quick buck in an effort to appease investors and increase your quarterly financials. You're probably scratching your head though, wondering what this is even about. NCSoft announced just a few days ago that they were introducing a brand new feature into Blade & Soul, the ability to change your class. This is a feature that is present in Final Fantasy XIV. It is present in Twin Saga in the upcoming Blue Protocol MMO. This is a feature that is becoming more and more prominent in MMOs because players don't want to be locked into playing a single class. We either grow bored, our class gets nerfed, there are better or more interesting classes released, or in the case of Final Fantasy XIV, we want to be able to fill a role that our group needs. Now, NCSoft, being the money-hungry, obsessed South Korean developer that they are, thought to themselves, how can we implement a feature that players have been actively seeking for years now, make an exorbitant amount of money from it, and simultaneously infuriate and offend the entire player base? Like this, apparently. This will be a unique opportunity to make your characters switch combat styles and abilities. Class change is a complete modification of your character because you can also change their race and looks. Now, that doesn't sound half bad. You can alter your class, you can alter your physical appearance. For reference, a Fantasia in Final Fantasy XIV, which allows for you to alter your race and appearance, costs approximately $10 US. To alter your race and appearance in World of Warcraft, it costs approximately $25. In Blade & Soul though, it costs 8,000 N-Coin. Taking a look at Amazon here, 8,000 N-Coin sells for approximately $100 US. Yeah, $100 US. $100. What a great deal, right? I only need to spend probably what I ended up spending on a week's worth of groceries, 2 weeks worth of groceries, just to change my class. $100 freaking dollars, man, $100. And if that was not bad enough, and it is, but if it wasn't, they go on to state that class change will be available for a limited time. This should theoretically allow for you to purchase the service and utilize it at a later date, right? Like a level boost. Wrong. The class change launch bundle will be available for purchase from March 16th to March 23rd, 1 week. You can use it after your purchase until April 13th. So technically, by the time this video goes live, this deal will be over, but they do note that we will bring it back later. Even though it is, though, they state that you will be able to use what you spent $100 on up until April 13th. Yes, you did hear that correctly. Class change bundles will be available for 3 weeks, from March 16th to April 8th. You have until April 13th to use them. This is an actual deadline. You spent $100 to use an item that would allow for you to alter your class, to alter your appearance, and they give you a deadline with which to use your items. In bold letters, towards the end of the announcement, they state, note that both bundles cannot be used after April 13th. Theoretically, if you were to have purchased either of those bundles for $100, taken a short break, maybe thought to yourself, well, you know what, I want to continue playing my class a little bit longer. I don't feel like I'm ready necessarily at this juncture to go ahead and change my class. There's a little bit more I want to see, a little bit more I want to do on it. And if you somehow go beyond the April 13th deadline, then your package is null and void. You can no longer use it. They will have taken your $100 and you will have gotten nothing in exchange. This is absurd. It's actually a horrendous way of doing this by setting this deadline, by imposing limitations on when and how this service can be used. NCSoft are in essence forcing players to purchase the package and make use of it before it expires. It's not a service that they want to offer long term because they know players will delay purchasing it. If they put a time limit, players are going to feel obligated to purchase and use it before it's too late. It acts as motivation. You don't want to miss out on this epic opportunity, guys. Now's a chance to act. Because you know what, who knows when we're gonna offer this again in the future. They legitimately took the time to develop a feature that they physically implemented in the game, a feature that players have been asking for years now. And instead of charging players a much smaller, much more manageable fee, they try extorting over $100 out of us. And that's just in US dollars. Conversion fees for other countries are going to be substantially worse. I know people over in the East, over in Europe, that can't afford the $5 price tag on Black Desert. Don't even get me started on Australia, where I lived most of my life. That $100 deal costs almost $150 converted into Australian dollars. That is insane, right? They noted that there are certain requirements that need to be met before successfully class changing, but realistically, all of these should already be met for any person that has been playing long enough to warrant a class change. In closing, they go on to state that they're excited for your money and they cannot wait for you to waste it unnecessarily. Without people willing to support practices like this, Korean companies would have no way of staying afloat. Oh, you know what? That is a small oopsie on my part. That's not what they wrote, but it is what they meant. I have a bit of a bad habit here of seeing through the crap that companies post and understanding their actual real intentions. It's a fatal flaw of mine. I understand that players wanted an option to alter their class. It's become a quality of life feature in this day and age and eliminates the larger need for alternate characters. But taking advantage of your players is not the right way to go about implementing it as a feature. And imposing such an atrocious limitation on when you can use it, what if players didn't see the deadline? Do we just lose the $100 that we invested into purchasing it? This is, again, a horrendous way of going about this, and I hope that they better think through these things in the future. I wouldn't feel as bad if it were a permanent feature, I guess, but this is likely going to leave many players wondering why they can no longer use a feature that they spent $100 to purchase. NCSoft, seriously, you need to do better. This should not be acceptable. Also, $100? Are we actually for real right now? Who is even going to be able to afford $100 for something as basic as a class change, man? Seriously, holy crap.